This is my audience, Oma, Opa, and my mom. Hi, my name is Amanda Miller, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the history of graphic design and its importance in our everyday lives. Nearly 260,000 people are currently employed as graphic designers, and the business is still rapidly growing today. The big question is, well, what do graphic designers do? They produce the visual media that businesses use to train their employees, market to customers, and brand their businesses. If you have a creative mind and have a talent for visual elements, then you may consider a career in graphic design. I'll be talking more about the history of graphic design and its influences that have carried on to today. This is a very important topic to me because I myself am a graphic designer, and I would like for people to understand the importance of it. Now let's take a look to where graphic design began. Graphic art was one of the beginning steps towards the graphic design concepts we still use to this day. The oldest discovered carbon-dated artifacts pertaining to graphic art was dated clear back to 30,000 BC. The Chevet Cave, found in France in 30,000 BC. The Lascaux Cave in 14,000 BC, also in France. The Bhimbetka rock shelters in India in 7,000 BC. And the Aboriginal rock art in Australia, also in 7,000 BC. These findings continued to be discovered up to when writing emerged in 3 to 4,000 BC. These beginning rock or cave drawings all across the world show that graphics have a very long history, which is shared among humanity. Now let's move ahead to where image and type began appearing together successfully. Many books in the classical period were illustrated, although only a handful of original examples survived. Medieval religious illuminated manuscripts have used graphics extensively. The graphics in these books influenced by the animal style of the barbarian people of Northern Europe, with much use of interlace and geometric decoration. Animal style art is an approach to decoration found from China to Northern Europe in the early Iron Age and the Migration period. The books contain several pages of vivid illustrations typical of early Byzantine art. A main reason for so many illustrations was due to the fact that page numbers weren't introduced yet, so the use of these graphics were a way to organize the different sections. The Quran was one of the first massively produced books with graphics during the 8th century. This step of expansion into other types of books shows the growth of graphic illustrations. Around this time, calligraphy began to become a more popular and interesting way to decorate characters in books for a more visually appealing look. Growing popularity of calligraphy began to show the acknowledgement of typography, which is the attention to detail when dealing with letter forms. Many believe that calligraphy adds a mystical dimension to a writing. The more illustrations that were used, the more people began to understand the importance of the feelings and the message portrayed to the respective audience. Moving forward to where design enhanced more visually based graphics rather than simply text-based. The saying, "A picture is worth 1,000 words," said by Fred R. Bernard, truly is comprehended in this period. Large graphics, such as maps, began becoming more articulate in the detail of landmarks and other icons. Maps before the time of commercial printing were hand-copied, engraved, and hand-colored. Designs were also executed on a smaller scale as well, like playing cards initially invented by the Chinese or the domino. The earliest authentic references to playing cards in Europe dated back to 1377. During the 15th century, Germans introduced wooden block printing techniques to produce these cards. This technique allowed them to quickly export through Europe because of their lower cost. Not only was graphic design used in important documents and books, but now it's spread into a realm of games and more decorative pieces. Soon there was a substitution of wood blocking and hand coloring, called copperplate engraving, during the 16th century. This was a significant innovation for the manufacturing business. Mass printing was revolutionized with the introduction of the color lithography in early 19th century. Now that there has become a demand for graphics, how graphics communicate to the audience becomes a key component. Less is more is Mondrian's minimalism revolution. That is the basic premise of a minimalist color poster design. The Dutch painter Piet Mondrian, in the years of 1920 to 21, courageously introduced something completely new and fresh into the painting world, the style of minimalism. He demonstrated that with simple repositioning of these colors and experimentation with the proportionality, one can achieve extremely different ambiances and various feelings. The most common and recognizable term used today is logo or trademark design, the perfect balance of simplicity and various feelings. A trademark is a type of intellectual property, a typical name, word, phrase, logo, symbol, design, image, or combination of any of these elements. To summarize, graphic design is transformed from simple ways of communication to planned strategic points of interest. The history and importance of graphic design has revolutionized the visual world and have been the building blocks that are still used to this day. It is known as the art of communication, the art of practice and planning and projecting ideas, and experience with visual and textual content. So next time you go to the grocery store, postal office, shopping mall, or even to a sports event, take a look around and you can now begin to understand that everything around you was once created by a graphic designer. Thank you.